We got rain today. It's Sunday, September 24th, and out of nowhere, we just got a shower. I had just been outside and I did not even think it was going to rain, never expected it. And then all of a sudden I heard it on the roof. It was so wonderful. It's so wonderful to look out there and see everything wet and dripping. I love it and I'm so appreciative of it. Praise the Lord. So it was fabulous. Finally got a little shower. It didn't last that long. I wish it would have lasted a lot longer. It didn't really last that long, but it did sprinkle for a while, and it was lightning a whole bunch. And I kept getting notifications on my phone about lightning, and we kept hearing thunder. And so I couldn't really get out here and do anything. But this afternoon I'm out here, and I have a project that I want to start, and I've been wanting to do, but I was kind of waiting on a little bit of cool off. Some of these projects, it's not that they're that difficult, but they're just not that fun to do when it's burning hot. This wasn't anything major, but it's something I want to accomplish, and I want to accomplish it this afternoon if possible, and start my week tomorrow, Monday, with a clean slate doing other things. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm kind of humbling myself to show you all my junk back here. This is all the stuff that was kind of thrown here when we moved out of our old house because I needed to put it somewhere. So I put it under this covering. We've got the roof above it. So it was a good place to set all this. And like this ladder here, this big long ladder, that was already here. So I kind of inherited that. It's old, but it still works. My gas cans and all that stuff, you know, I've got to do things with all this and figure out a way to organize it. But I'm starting one step at the time, just one step at the time. Now that it's cooled off today, I'm going to begin. If you don't begin, you don't get anything done. So today I'm going to begin. Believe it or not, under all this junk are a couple of items, and I'm going to use them to try to make a raised bed. Let me show you. I'll clear off some of this stuff so you can see it better. I just know what's under there, and I'm going to show you what I'm thinking. All right, I have these two metal pieces. I really don't know what they are or what they used to be for, but they're two metal pieces. They kind of have like a curved edge, and I feel like that's good. It'll kind of help wrap it around my little raised bed. I have the second piece sitting here, and these were already sitting here whenever we bought this place. And the man had T-posts laying across them. He had like 7-foot long T-posts laying across these. I guess to keep the T-posts up off the ground and to keep them from getting any more rusted than they already do being outside. But all my T-posts are in the ground, and I think I'm going to be leaving those T-posts pretty much where they are for a while. So rather than just shuffle the deck chairs on the Titanic, because I know I could use this little system here to stack stuff on and all. Believe me, I have plenty of junk I could do that with. But rather than just do that, I thought to myself, they're kind of pretty. I like old rusty things. They're kind of pretty to me. And I thought I'm going to take them to the other side of my yard, over by my house, kind of by my ramp. And I'm going to see if I can't make a raised bed out of them. Now, they have holes in them. Obviously, I'm aware of that. And dirt would come right through there. So, I'm trying to use what I have, and I have a lot of pieces of siding that matches the siding from our house. So I have these pieces, I have more, and what I'm thinking of doing is stacking two of these pieces on top of each other, cutting them to size. I'm going to cut them to the 4.5 foot length of these little metal things, and I'm going to actually stack them on top of each other. Behind these, I'm going to lean the whole system up against the cinder blocks. I'm going to reuse these 4 cinder blocks that are down here. Right now they're just sitting, they're just holding this up, but I'm going to reuse those to be the side of my raised bed. Are you confused yet? Do you think I'm crazy? I imagine some people are looking at this thinking this is going to be a hideously ugly raised bed. And I probably could spend some money to make it a lot more pretty. I could probably go out and buy some spray paint that's for rust, like Rust-Oleum, that's enamel based, that I could paint these things and make them pretty. I could make them a pretty rust color or a pretty black, but I don't want to go spend that money. I really don't. And I'm just gonna go with it the way I have it. In the end, before I put dirt in it, I may spray off these cinder blocks and make them a little more white. Right now they're just kind of dingy. I might do that, but I think I'm gonna go with my rust things the way they are. They're gonna be sitting out in the weather. They're gonna be full of dirt. They're gonna have dirt coming over the sides of them sometimes. I don't think I'm gonna worry too much about if they're pretty. I think I'm gonna try to make pretty whatever grows in it. And I bought some bulbs today for daffodils and things like that. And I'm thinking I might go ahead and put those bulbs in these planters. In the spring, they'll pop up. And when you walk up onto my carport or you're coming down my ramp, I think this little raised bed full of daffodils will be gorgeous. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I just know it's going to clear out something from underneath this awning and help get some of this stuff out of here. I've earmarked some things to put out by the road. Some of this stuff can just be organized, and then I need to sweep out a lot of these leaves, and I'm kind of scared what's all up in those leaves, so I'm going to do that very gingerly and carefully and get this taken care of. But all that cleaning is going to wait till later. Right now, I'm just focusing on getting these parts to the other side of my yard, and once I get those pieces over there, I'm going to show you what I bought to hopefully hold the whole thing together. And I'm thinking it'll make it strong, and I'm thinking it'll tie it all together, make it stand up straight, and I'll end up with some raised beds. I'm pretty excited to do this, so let's roll. In the vein of working smarter, not harder, I'm going to use my golf cart as much as I can. It's going to take me 2 little trips to get this stuff over there. I'll walk back over here and grab the siding because it's not heavy. I want you to kind of see from my eyes what I'm talking about. When you walk down my ramp, and you take a left, you're heading down the second part of the ramp. Straight ahead is a terrible looking spot. I've never done anything with it. When you look over here, it's just, there's nothing there. So that's where I laid all the parts for this raised bed. Behind this golf cart, you'll kind of see my little parts back there for my sewer system. So that's also what I see when I come down this ramp. To make a little wall to hold in the dirt, I'm going to take these pieces of plastic right here, cut them. I'll put them behind the metal, and they'll go up against the cinder blocks. And then I'm going to flip the metal pieces up on them. All right, I cut all 4 pieces of my siding with my skill saw. I just got it out and used it really quick. I didn't really have any snips that would do this. So I'm going to run a bead of glue down this edge here to hook these 2 pieces together, just to basically tack them so that when I'm finishing this raised bed, they'll stay together and I'm not fighting these little pieces of plastic against each other. I've got those 2 pieces cut. I'm gonna do the same thing, and then I'm gonna show you how hopefully it'll all come together and look okay. A couple of days ago, I went to Home Depot and I bought 4 pieces of rebar. They're 3 foot long and a 1/2 inch. They're pretty sturdy. I'm going to use these at each end of those metal pieces. I'm going to take a maul and put them in the ground, and I'm hoping it'll hold it all up. So let's see. Well, y'all, here it is. I'll be able to see it coming down the ramp. And then there it is. I think it came out okay for what I imagined. But by pure luck, because I didn't measure, the metal and the 2 pieces of cinder block on each side are the exact same height. So that came out perfect. The little pieces of siding fall a little short, but that's okay. They allow a little gap. You're actually seeing it worse because I'm standing up. When you're like this, it's not bad. Really, I don't really need to fill dirt any higher than that. I'll just keep the dirt that level. And in these holes that'll go straight down to the ground on both sides, I'm just going to fill those with dirt too and plant bulbs in there, or plant, you know, whatever I'm wanting to plant. But I think the rebar pieces do a great job. These pieces of metal, these long pieces of metal, are heavy. They're very heavy, and I wanted to make sure that they don't in any way fall over, like if my grandkids are around this. So these metal rebar posts, this is only about 18 inches here, and they go another 18 inches in the ground. I feel like they'll keep that metal solid, and it kind of, because I have it all the way around on all four sides, it'll keep this tight up against the cinder blocks and just keep everything together. And also, the metal is so strong that it'll hold the dirt in really good whenever I put the dirt in here. So I think just reusing something that was already here on this property, and it feels a need to, because I just needed this area back here, which looks even worse now that I've drug out tools and everything. But this area back here needed something. I can grow things along my house. I have to leave space to walk there and space to walk there. So this was a good little fix for the middle. I know it's a little unusual looking. I know it's probably unlike any other DIY you've seen, but it's what I had. It's unusual looking because it's unique to this property and unique to whatever they had this for to begin with. I really don't know what these were for. If anybody has an idea of what this could have been, please let me know. It's two pieces that look exactly the same. I decided to put some leaves in the bottom of this before putting dirt. They'll break down, it'll add nutrients to my soil, and they make a great barrier to keep grass from coming up under your plants. That's what I'm hoping, so I'm trying to keep a barrier there for grass. Then I filled it with potting soil. I used 2 cubic foot bags of Miracle-Gro potting soil, and it took about 2.5 bags. But then I decided to make a change. Instead of putting the daffodil bulbs in there, I decided to go ahead and put these allium bulbs in there. It's a lavender flower, but they have a long stalk. They have greenery at the bottom. My daughter has them at her house, and she really, really likes them. And I think they'll do a better job of creating a little visual barrier so that you don't see my sewer as much. And they do bloom twice a year for long periods of time. So I'm going to try those. I'll plant my daffodils in the front, probably around my statue of Mary. They'll be beautiful wherever I plant them. Okay, let's walk this walk again, except we'll have the end in sight this time. When you're going down my ramp, finally, I have something kind of pretty to look at out here. Got a little more work to do, but I'll shape this area up. But for right now, this is a start. This is my beginning. I got me a little flag to decorate this with. I think all in all, it came out pretty. I think it came out the way I envisioned it. Because these bulbs won't be coming up until the spring, they won't flower until the spring, I went ahead and planted some Blue Lake bush bean seeds in here right now, just in the middle part. I planted about 14 seeds. But these will be done probably in about 50 to 55 days. So after that, I'll probably come in here and plant some spinach or some corn salad, maybe even some lettuces, something like that that'll grow good during the wintertime. So that way I can always keep some food growing in this planter, even though it's kind of decorative. This is Lainey at Hilltop Home Place. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for hanging in there with me through this build, and I hope it inspired you to do something at your house. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.